Yeah, so FreeAgent is an online accounting tool that's built specifically for UK-based micro businesses, so freelancers, contractors, consultants, businesses with fewer than 10 employees in size. It's a pure SaaS solution, so it's all on the web, and we now have mobile apps as well for iOS and Android. And we've been around for over 10 years now. I founded the company back in 2007 with my two co-founders, Ollie and Rowan, and we now have 130 staff, almost all of us based up in Edinburgh. There are other accounting software products available. They tend to fall within a market, I think, which is called small business accounting software. And so that will be typical players like Sage, Intuit, as well as newer entrants like Xero. And so they service that market, which I think starts at a handful of employees and goes up to perhaps 100 employees. And they tend to be quite traditional in the scope that they have. So not much has changed in the last 10 years. You used to buy it shrink wrapped in a box in PC World, and now you have it online on the web. But really fundamentally what those products do isn't really any different. In contrast, we're really focused on the micro end of the market, so very small businesses, 1, 2, 3, maybe up to 10 employees. But because those businesses are simpler, we can do a lot more for them. We can do everything from tracking time all the way through to forecasting tax bills and actually filing tax returns as well. So it's a much more integrated all-in-one solution compared to the more kind of generic, traditional accounting software. For us, that's really interesting because that's actually where the volume in the market is. So out of the UK's 5.5 million businesses, 95% of them have fewer than 10 employees. And in fact, 75% have no employees at all, self-employed, single person limited companies. So there's a lot of volume in there. A lot of that market are currently using either spreadsheets or even sometimes just paper, slightly worryingly, just to manage their finances. And so there's a lot of opportunity for us in that market to help those businesses go digital. So we do sell directly to businesses themselves. So business owners can come to our website, they can see what we do, they can sign up for a 30-day free trial, and then they can go and subscribe, and it's all on a subscription basis. And that grows really well for us. But the part of the market that's growing faster is us selling to accountants. And so clearly accountants are a very important part of that picture. Most businesses will have the services of accountants at some level to help them. And so what we do with accountants is we go in and we usually sell licenses in bulk for them to give to their clients as part of the accounting package. And then what they get back is a much better form of data that they can use, fewer errors, much more timely, that they can use to do all the accounting services they want to add on top of that. And that's working really well for us. The biggest change that's coming up is a wholesale digitization of the tax system in the UK under the banner of what's called Making Tax Digital, which HMRC are rolling out over the next 3 years or so. And the idea is that HMRC will be digitizing all of their systems and connecting everything together, and businesses will have to go digital as well. So over the next few years, all businesses will have to manage their tax digitally and submit quarterly updates to HMRC with business data. And so for those businesses who are using paper or spreadsheets, that becomes really untenable. Almost everyone's going to have to move to a digital tool of some kind. Obviously, we're well placed to be able to help those companies do that. So that starts in April 2018 for some unincorporated businesses, and by 2020, all businesses except the very tiniest ones will be included in Making Tax Digital. We're already starting to see some interest among businesses, but especially from accountants who are starting to have to work out how they're going to help their clients meet the requirements of Making Tax Digital. So we have about 58,000 paying subscribers at the moment, a mix of direct customers and customers through accountants. But as I say, there are over 5 million micro businesses in the UK, so there's quite some room for us still to grow in the UK. And we are really focused on the UK. One of the things that really differentiates us from the competition, as I talked about, is the tax calculation and tax filing capabilities that FreeAgent has, which makes a real difference to our customers because it's often surprise tax bills or not knowing when the deadlines are that really hurts people. And those are obviously very, very UK specific things that we do, but they're very valuable to our customers. And so it's one of the things that really does mark us apart from the rest. Our first set of results since we were listed back in November, so we've only been out in the market for 6 months or so. Obviously, we're delighted to be in the market, and even more delighted that our results are in line with, or in some cases ahead of, market expectations, which is good. So we announced rise in revenue run rate by 26%, and overall revenue up by 41%, both in line with market expectations. We maintain gross margins up above 80%, which we're pleased with, and we had ended the year with more cash in the bank than market expectations. So we're pleased with all of those. In a way, SaaS business is just very simple. They're very simple subscription businesses, really. We only really have one product in the UK. It comes in a number of different flavors, but that makes things very easy to deal with. And SaaS businesses are very instrumentable. We can see exactly what's happening at all stages through the customer journey. So we get great transparency on what's going on, and we can look at things like conversion rates, churn rates, customer acquisition costs in a great deal of accuracy, which is great for us. So it's a very metrics-driven business, and one of the key metrics for us is, on one side of the equation, lifetime margin. So over the average lifetime of a given customer in a given channel, how much gross margin do they return to us? And on the other side, customer acquisition cost. So how much does it cost to acquire a single new customer on average? And clearly, these two are related. If your customer acquisition cost is the same as lifetime margin, then you're just recovering that cost, but over the lifetime of the customer. So we're pleased to see that on our direct channel, our lifetime margin is about 3 times customer acquisition cost, which is pretty healthy. But actually, in our practice channel in the second half of 2017, lifetime margin was 6 times customer acquisition cost, and that really justifies a lot of the work we were doing this year in relation to focusing on the accountancy practice market. So very much doubled down on that as an opportunity for us, and those metrics really show us that the investments we're making in customer acquisition do pay back very significantly in terms of the margin they're returning. And so that's a good way of measuring how effective is a business at bringing on board new customers. And the other measure that we have to think about the overall value that we're generating is what we call the residual value. So if we just took our current customers and we didn't add a single more customer, but we just collected the revenue that they would be sending us over the course of the next number of years as they gradually inevitably churn out, what is that total amount of money? And we've increased our residual value from 2016 to 2017 by over 32% as well, so up to £48.1 million in cash terms, which is great. That's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to grow the value of our customers as an asset, and SaaS businesses in particular have this great opportunity to be able to measure that in a very clear way and talk to our shareholders about that, which is really what they want to hear, I think. Obviously, we'll be coming out with our half-year results for the half year to September 30th, and we'll see those in December. One of the things that is going to be happening in the next few months is we'll be starting really to embark properly on a partnership with the Royal Bank of Scotland Group that we announced back in January. And so in this partnership, FreeAgent is going to be offered to all of the Royal Bank of Scotland Group, so RBS north of the border and NatWest south of the border. All of those customers will be offered FreeAgent as part of the business banking proposition at no additional charge, on the basis that they agree to provide some accounting data back to the bank to help the bank support them. So obviously that's quite exciting, because there are 665,000 of those customers who are suitable for FreeAgent. And we'll be looking to roll that out together with them to really give those businesses that integrated solution with both banking and accounting connected together. We think is a really valuable proposition for those customers. The bank clearly sees it as valuable, both in terms of acquiring new customers, helping retain customers, but also generating perhaps more margin from those customers through lending, for example, that they've traditionally struggled to do, not because there's anything wrong with the businesses, but because they struggle with the data to be able to justify some of those lending decisions. So that will start to play out over the rest of this calendar year 2017 as we start to embark on that process with them, and hopefully we'll have something to say in our September 30 results, which start to show some of those numbers coming through.